This is unbearably sad. And I think at this point, it is fair to talk about the Vancouver Canucks as a team whose direction we are definitely aware of. Like, we know the direction that the team wants to go down. We had spoken about it in the last video. It's why they traded away a first-round pick from New York that could potentially be unprotected in 2026. It's why they traded away a prospect that Canucks amateur scouts most likely were very fond of. The Vancouver Canucks want to be competitive. And with that in mind, you can think about the competition and the competitive nature of the guys on this team and really spell out where those results have gone over the past few months. Because when you compare the results from this year's Canucks team to last year, oh boy, things are getting really, really depressing. But only if you're looking at it from a nostalgic point of view. So, this show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go out there and check out the first link in the description to save some money on your VPN, get some free months, and support this YouTube channel all in the process. What I wanted to do was talk about yesterday's Vegas game one more time. Because yesterday, Jake DeBrusk ended up getting the only Vancouver goal on the night. And it was significant because that was DeBrusk's 20th goal on the season. And he is the first guy on the team to get that number. Quads tweeted out this last night. Here is what the team's goal-scoring leaderboard looked like at this time last season. And last year, through 59 games played, the Vancouver Canucks, not only did they have at least one 20-goal scorer at this point last year, but they had a 30-goal scorer and two others at 29. Brock Boeser had 31 goals in 59 games. JT Miller had 29 goals in 59 games. Elias Pettersson had 29 goals in 59 games. Höglander had 17 in 57. And Dakota Joshua had 13 in 53 games. That's sad. That's really sad. When you compare it to the Vancouver Canucks in 2024, 2025, you take a look at this team now? Okay, what does it look like? Well, Jake DeBrusk has 20 goals in 56 games. Brock Boeser has 18 goals in 49 games. Quinn Hughes has 14 goals in 47 games. Connor Garland has 14 goals in 56 games. Pius Suter has 14 goals in 55 games. And then you have Sherwood, Pettersson, and Miller. Buddy, oh my gosh, man. Like, JT Miller last year had 29 goals in 59 games played. This season, Miller was playing on pace for around 18 goals in the whole season. Like, you talk about the fallout of this team, just look at it side by side, right beside each other. I mean, Brock Boeser went from 31 goals in 59 games to 18 goals in 49 games. Obviously, you know, the per-game number is a little bit skewed there. He hasn't been the healthiest. Same thing you could say about Elias Pettersson, who isn't even on the top 5 in Vancouver Canucks goals this year. He's got 11 in 50 games. Last year, he had 29 in 59 games. He's been hurt too. But then again, the guy has not looked himself at all this season. And that's not even the biggest fall-off. Niels Höglander had 17 goals in 57 games played last year. You know how much he has this year? 4! He's got 4 goals in 52 games this year for the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, what else is there to say? This team is definitely not in the same stratosphere of offensive productivity like we had seen last year, and it's kind of ridiculous when you acknowledge how far back a lot of these guys are when it comes to that goal production. I mean, here's some of the replies. Last year was a lot of fun. I miss it. Me too, Wes. PDO carried them last year. This year, we are getting the true Rick Tocchet experience. PDO was at an all-time high last year, wasn't it? And I know a lot of folks might not actually be too familiar with that, but PDO is essentially how lucky, quote-unquote, a team is. It's a simple calculation. You just add a team's shooting percentage and save percentage. And essentially, if the shooting percentage is really high, and the save percentage is really high, it means that the team is getting lucky, because a lot of your shots are going in, and a lot of your shots that are going against you are getting stopped. A lower PDO means that your team is shooting lower and it's not really getting many saves, or those two ideas are not necessarily exclusive, but you can understand why this is determined as the quote-unquote luck stat, and the Canucks were getting really lucky when you look at just the PDO from last season, because every gosh darn shot was going in. For some reason, they were getting these opportunities and they were burying them left, right, and center. It's why Pettersson and Miller had 29 goals at this point last year. It's why Boeser had over 30. But this year, the PDO has been lower. The team has been hurt. The guys can't score as much as they had been in the past. Quinn Hughes is scoring more. He's the only guy who has seemed to actually have improved from last season to this season. Everybody else is like, okay, Boeser, step back. Pettersson, a monster leap back. Höglander, 2 miles back. The team was in a great spot last year. But now, things are kind of taking a bit of a turn for the worst. And you can see this other post made on the R Canucks subreddit. Take a look at this by Macklin. 6 months ago, these 6 All-Stars were our core. Now, only one of them is a sure part of our core going forward. And it's the picture of Demko, Boeser, Miller, Hughes, Pettersson, and Elias Lindholm all at the All-Star game. Kind of hilarious because Elias Lindholm was only there to get some Calgary representation in, but he got traded to Vancouver, so he wasn't even really a Flame at this point. So all 6 of these guys, Vancouver Canucks core players, Boeser, Miller, Hughes, Petey, Demko, Lindholm, and now all of them. Okay, no, only 2 of them are gone. The rest are still on the team, but when you think about it, it's like, okay, Demko, Kevin Lankinen just re-signed that contract. I don't think the Canucks are going to be too keen on giving any sort of term to Thatcher the Snatch or Brock Boeser. Hey, if the team wanted him around, they probably would have been able to sign him already. That guy's gone. Elias Pettersson? He almost got traded to Carolina before the Mikko Rantanen trade happened, and now Mikko Rantanen could be on his way out too. Could Carolina revisit the Vancouver talks and be like, yeah, okay, we want Petey. Let's go. Let's give him to us. Not saying the Canucks are going to get Rantanen. Vancouver would need a center, but still. Quinn Hughes is the only guy who is actually here and whom the Vancouver Canucks know is going to be a part of their core. And that's not even guaranteed either. Like, he could go in free agency and sign with the Devils in 2 years, and then he's going to leave Vancouver in a pile of tears because, you know, the Canucks weren't able to win around him. And then what's going to happen? Who's the best player on the Canucks at that point? Philip Hronek? Are we going to give the captaincy to Tyler Myers? Is Philip Hedl going to be a #1 center in Vancouver? Like, I don't know, maybe this is just my brain and the way that it works, that a lot of people will be quick to point out, like, oh, you gotta be optimistic, man. You're too pessimistic about the situation. But, like, I don't know, the team's not really giving us much to cheer about when you look at this body of work compared to last season. I get that the small baby steps have been there. Like, they started to win games slowly after the JT Miller trade. Quinn Hughes has been out for a while, and they're still finding ways to win some games. They didn't win yesterday, but they could win today. Depends on what happens. I don't know if Quinn Hughes is going to play today. Who really knows? But there are a lot of conversations from last year to this year that really start to feel bad, and I think we have to reminisce on the good old days of 2023, 2024, when JT Miller scored 100 points for the Vancouver Canucks. Those were the days, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Vancouver and these statistics. I hope you enjoyed this video. Social Trolls 9, and bye.